For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is the Scribble Podcast. Thanks for tuning in today at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. If you haven't subscribed yet, what the hell are you waiting for, everybody? Because we've had some really good... This is episode 70 already of our show, and we've had a great time now. And so if you've missed all of the episodes in the past, download them. Binge listen. I don't know, is that a term? Binge watch is the thing when it comes to TV shows or movies or whatever it is. Binge listen to the podcast over the weekend. And happy Father's Day as well to all of our dads that might be tuning in. Let's be honest, it was a bad week for Orlando. I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing at what's happened. I'm just sitting there going, you have one tragedy, and then you have a second, and who would have thought a third would have happened? So let's just... we're not obviously a news podcast, so I'm not going to get into the whole thing about it, but we know there was the... last Friday, the Voice contestant was shot and killed at her meet and greet after her concert. The next night in Orlando was the nightclub shooting at Pulse Nightclub. We've heard about that, the gay club where the guy opened fire, killed, dozens of people, injured even more. And then just at the beginning of this week, the 2-year-old boy at Disney in Orlando that was not eaten by an alligator, but taken away by an alligator and then found later, almost not quite 24 hours later, and body still intact, though not eaten by the gator. So needless to say, it's been a tough week for Orlando. And again, I kind of laugh not at the stories, but just at the misfortune. It's like when everybody's reeling from one tragedy, all of a sudden another one happens, and it's not even back to back. This one is back to back to back. You've had 3 things. So and we've heard the debates. The major story, they're all bad stories, but the big one, of course, would be the terrorist attack at the nightclub. And the debate is, it's really, what is it? It's 3 things. It's gun control, it's terrorism, and homophobia, I guess, in this case, is what people are claiming. Though we're hearing that this guy was on different gay websites sending wang pictures and chatting with gay guys, so it's a little bit confusing as to why he didn't like gay guys, when I don't know very many straight guys that do that unless they're getting paid or something for it. But anyway, so it's interesting that the debate always leads to gun control, but then it's about, well, we've got to do the terrorists, because if the terrorists are getting these guns from overseas or wherever they're getting them, then gun control laws really don't make a difference. But the bottom line, and you've heard the debate, you've seen, the news channels are showing this debate over and over again. It happened Sunday morning, right? When it's 24-hour news cycle these days where, it's a breaking story and it's going to drag out for 4 hours. They've got to bring out every possible quote-unquote expert. It's like when a plane goes missing, all of a sudden they bring in these people who are experts in weather all of a sudden. It's like, wait a second, I thought you were like a political reporter. Now you're a meteorologist? I don't get this. But anyway, so it's not a simple solution, because if the president, if anybody, president, prime minister, whatever country you're in, if he or she has that much power, just to snap the finger and say, okay, new gun control law, that's going to make everything better, then do it. But unfortunately, the president, I'm talking about Obama in this case, and it's not even necessarily him personally, just that role as president doesn't have the power to just snap the fingers and change the law or make a big change like that. So you'd think if everybody is so devastated and distraught, you've got all these politicians who say it needs to change, then get off your ass and change it. And if it's something in your constitution or whatever it is, then go back to the drawing board. Because here's the deal. Laws are made, I would think, based on the will of the people, and not necessarily majority rules, but if there's a consensus, that we all, or the majority of us, agrees that things need to change, then do it. So it's going to be a never-ending debate. What is the solution to ending the terrorism, the guns, the whatever? I don't know that there is, because it's gone so long. I truly believe it's going to be just like breast cancer and all these other ones. There's never going to be a cure. There's never going to be the end of it. We just have to accept that it's going to happen. And I realize that I could be criticized for saying, well, that's a pessimistic attitude. That's not very reassuring. At the end of the day, I don't know if anybody, and please email me, tweet me, whatever, if you fully believe that this is going to change in the next year, 2 years, 5 years. I don't want to call you delusional, but I just don't think it's realistic, because it's been happening for a very long time. 9/11 was over 10 years ago, and, nothing's really changed. So we've had a new president, we've had new people in power, we've had a brand new terrorist group come out. Right before it was Al-Qaeda and whoever, and now it's ISIS, and it's just going to be... If we defeat ISIS, there's going to be another one that crops up. So I don't really, that's sort of my debate on it, is that, yes, we can sit and bitch and whine and complain about it as much as we want. It ain't going to change. So what is the solution? I don't know that there is one. Just deal with it, maybe. That seems to be where I'm heading. And, what I ended up doing on Sunday was, I did watch a bit of the news coverage, and, I scrolled through Twitter a little bit, but even that gets nauseating in light of something like this. Now, I realize that, yes, every one of these victims was, a special person to somebody, and I'm certainly not diminishing, who they are or what happened, and I'm not, that's not my point here at all. What I'm saying is, as a person here, you just get sick of seeing it, right? Whether it was a nightclub with 50-some people killed, or a shooting where 2 people died, whatever. I'm saying an attack is an attack. A person killed is a person killed. And so... It's depressing, and there's no sense in me sitting at home and tweeting up a storm and getting so mad and fired up and just lashing out and posting paragraphs on Facebook expressing I'm sick to my stomach about this and whatever. Well, that's great, but you know what? Everybody has the same opinion. And so what I found on Twitter is once the celebrities start chiming in, and God bless Us Weekly and all the tabloid and celebrity websites, because they compiled all of the celebrity tweets, which to me it's kind of like, well, great, I know that Kim Kardashian was saddened by the terrorist attack. Oh, great. I know that the Real Housewives are sad and they're mad and they're enraged. And oh, great, Clay Aiken wants stiffer gun laws. Oh, great, this person wants that. And oh, great, Lady Gaga said this. And oh, great. Because really the messaging is one of maybe about 3 or 4 things. I'm sad. I'm pissed off. It needs to change. I'm outraged. Terrorists suck. Those are kind of the messages, right? So there's really nothing riveting or groundbreaking. All you've got is just 1 or 2 sentences that are tweeted out by everybody that they're outraged and that they're sad. So naturally, and I'm an entertainment reporter, don't get me wrong, but the point of the story at Pulse nightclub or in Orlando or wherever we're talking is the victims and what happened to them. That's the story. I don't care that Fluffhead Kardashian feels this way or has an opinion about gun laws. I mean, who cares? I'm not going to sleep better at night knowing how the celebrities feel about this, because again, the messaging is going to be the same as what your brother tweeted, what my cousin tweeted, what my colleague tweeted. Everybody was sad, shocked, upset, mad. Gun laws need to change. Terrorism needs to end. Homophobia needs to go away. That's basically the messaging. Really, if you look at the majority of the tweets from Sunday, and even still up to today, because, the tragedies keep happening in Orlando, that's sort of what the main messaging was. So, anyway, you can follow along on Twitter at The Scribble Show, and my Twitter is at SF Celebwatch. SF is in Speak Free Celebwatch. And again, tragic stories all around in Orlando, and you just when you think it's over, something else happens, right? It's 2 gun situations with the Voice contestant and with the nightclub shooting, and then the boy with the alligator. It's tragic stories, coincidental, I guess. They're not any related as far as we know in the alligator thing, unless the alligator had a gun. But certainly, it's one of those times where what I did on Sunday, after I scrolled through tweets for maybe about 10 minutes, was I just decided to shut out the world. It was a rainy day where I was, and I thought, you know what? I just want to laugh today. I don't really need to be outraged all day. It's just it's not worth my time doing it. Because there's nothing that I can do or there's nothing that I can say that's going to stop ISIS or that's going to stop a terrorist. I'm realistic in that respect. I really am. I realize that in our own countries we have a voice and we can vote or we can protest or we can, do all those things. There were all those rallies at different legislative buildings or different government offices after the nightclub attack, and it happened again in my hometown where everybody descended and rallied for the gay community. And a lot of people asked me if I went and if I supported it, and I said, you know what, I can support with my heart, and that's really what I can do. I don't think that anything's going to change just because I have gone to the steps of a legislative building and shed a tear or clapped in agreement with somebody. Yes, democracy is one thing, but in this instance, some of these things are out of our control, right? We can control the people coming into our countries, sure, but gun control, if they're a criminal, they're not going to follow gun control laws anyway, right? So it really doesn't matter. So, and again, that's a debate that, you're hearing Trump and Clinton battle it out. I can't wait for, if there's more debates coming. I don't follow politics, but, it's a never-ending debate. Will the terrorism end? No, it won't. Even if we defeat ISIS, there's another one probably in an incubator somewhere just ready to sprout. So there you have it. We are going to talk with Mike Holmes. This is a terrible segue, by the way. Mike Holmes is the star of the Fox show Home Free. It just returned for its second season actually yesterday on Fox, and he's going to be joining us a little bit to talk about the new show. It's sort of like it's Extreme Home Makeover. The show with Ty Pennington. Extreme Makeover Home Edition. And they've got some people that they're building houses for. And there's a bit of a twist to this season. So if you're going to be watching that show for the next 6 weeks, or the next 5 weeks, I guess now, you'll want to stay tuned to hear about Mike Holmes and what he's got to say. A fellow Canadian. We'll be chatting with him in just a little bit. We've got our website with daily celebrity entertainment news and gossip. Earlier in the week, Taylor Swift locking lips with a new man. Oh, what a hoe. My comments and my thoughts about Taylor Swift right after this.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Just hearing that commercial, everybody was talking about how, several months ago that Mexico was this big dangerous place. It seems to be Orlando, really, in all honesty. It's the tragedy of Florida is what it is right now. So we had a great time in Mexico. Mexico.jbonair.com, pv.jbonair.com, and pride.jbonair.com. We've gone to Mexico 4 times, I guess. We celebrated our 10th anniversary on the radio there just in April. So I mentioned before the break Taylor Swift. She's locking lips with a new guy. You'll recall just at the beginning of the month, I think it was June 2nd, where we heard that she and Calvin Harris were no more. He took to social media and said some really nice things about the relationship and that, things just sort of end, right? It was an amicable split by all accounts. And then we hear that Swift met this new guy at the Met Gala while she was still in a relationship with Harris. They were dancing that night, and now she was spotted and kissing this guy. So Harris has gone and essentially wiped out his social media with any reference or picture of or about Swift, which naturally. Here's the deal. You're speaking highly of this female that you were involved with for, I think it was 15 months or so, a little over a year anyway, and then not even 2 weeks after breakup, and then even while you were still in a relationship, judging by the time frames on this, she's, danced with another guy, and Harris apparently suspected that something was up. So even if he suspected something was up, he was still man enough, a gentleman enough, to say nice things about her on social media. Then she goes and does something like this. Well, problem for Harris. And I feel bad because he sounds like a nice guy. I don't know very much about him, but, Swift tends to write all of these songs about her relationships and, blames the guy and just sort of trash talks them. Why aren't the guys writing songs about her? She has gone through so many guys. She's been linked to many, many high-profile guys. I'd love to hear their stories. It's interesting because normally it's the guy that kisses and tells, right, and blabs everything. But in this case, it's her, and she gets away with it. Now, it's not that she's naming names in her songs, but come on. Where are the guys? Last week when we were talking about relationships on the show, we should get Dr. Karen Anderson on here again. There's got to be something wrong with Taylor Swift. If she's going from guy to guy to guy, we don't necessarily know who ended the relationship in every case, but, if all you're going to do is complain about every single one of your relationships, take a look at yourself, Taylor. Take a look at that. Maybe there is something wrong with you. Because, when people are dating and, sometimes you'll have a bad experience on a date or whatever it is, and then it does take you that moment to reflect and say, yeah, maybe I'm a bitch. Maybe I'm a dick. Maybe I should change this. Maybe, and then you have to change who you are a little bit. But Swift is just a diva, right? She's got a squad? She's got her girl squad, and she knows that she's the right now, and can have her pick of the guys. And maybe she's just wanting a good time because she made that comment. Was it in Vogue or Vanity Fair? She did that video about how she was slut shamed or whatever. Well, this is giving people ammo. I'm sorry. So if you don't want to be judged, then don't be doing stuff like this in public. I'm sorry. You're a celebrity. You sign up for this gig. You can't be a celebrity and then not be talked about. You can't have fans and then don't expect people to gossip and trash talk you. That comes with the territory. Does it make it right? I'm not saying it does, but that comes with the territory. You should know that. Again, Mike Holmes from Fox's Home Free is coming up. Wow, I'm just going on rants today. I am on a roll. Back after this with Mike Holmes.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
Celeb spotting on the Scribble.
The show Home Free is back on Fox. People are competing to win their dream home. It's a crazy competition. Twists, turns, surprises along the way. Mike Holmes is joining us to talk about the new season on Fox. Hey, Mike.
And good morning, Jeremy.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Just in New York right now. I'm doing all the press for the wonderful show. I got to tell you, it was quite the experience again this year. But from last year, big changes, I got to tell you.
Let's rewind. So, in case people aren't familiar with the show, people are competing to win their dream home, like I said, and it's a crazy experience to go through week after week, isn't it?
It is. As a matter of fact, all 11 contestants live on the job site 24/7. They live and breathe the world of the building industry, which is where I come from. Last year, we renovated 9 houses and gave them away to 9 deserving families. And this year, it's a little different because the cat's out of the bag, and we don't want them thinking that they're going to win a house for themselves. So they have to have a hero, and for their hero, they're going to compete in a huge game. And I got to tell you, because we partnered up with Perrin Homes and took over a site and built an entire neighborhood. And they got to compete to win that grand prize, which is the ultimate dream home for their hero and $100,000 for themselves. And they didn't know coming in until we told them in the first episode that every single hero gets a home.
So let's just rewind a little bit. Talk about the people who are on the show. So the ones who are potentially winning, are they hard up on their luck? Did they run into tough times? How did the people get picked to be on the show?
Well, it's different for this because we're looking for people that have a story of their hero. You know, like there's a principal and there's a teacher that is his hero simply because he's done so many years of service and given to all the children. There's someone that's from New York that literally this woman gave her kidney up to his father. So to him, she is his hero. So they can't win it for themselves, and nor do the heroes know they're going to win a home, but they need to compete and be challenged every single week. They'll start off in the drill down arena and do the drill down challenge, and from there, if they don't do right, they're going to receive a red tag, which will bring them right back to the arena at the end of the week for the final cut challenge, where they have to compete against each other to win and stay in the game to try and win that grand prize. But at the end of the week, we give away a beautiful, brand new home to every single hero. They just don't know they're going to win it.
That seems like so much pressure. People are thinking they're doing a good thing, and now it's like, oh crap, I really better work hard at this.
Well, it's good because I'm the skill and Tim is the will, and that's Tim Tebow. He's such a great co-host in the show. We push them beyond their limits. They're working from morning right through the day until late at night every single day. No cell phone, no TV. They're literally locked down in the Holmes Dome, you could say. And I teach them to do flooring, shingles, drywall, studding. And those who do really well move on. Those who don't will get a red tag and battle it out in the arena at the end of the week.
Now, you mentioned earlier that people are actually living on the job site, and you kind of have been literally almost your entire life. I mean, you started in construction and building as a kid, right? Working alongside your dad?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
And so we also see your kids on all of your shows. You know, Canadians have known you from Homes on Homes, Handyman Challenge, Homes Inspection, and you want that legacy to be continued on from generation to generation. Just to talk about that and the importance of having the newer generations and even your family involved in your projects.
Well, I love it because, like my father, I mean, he was my hero. He was a jack of all trades, master of none, and I didn't really understand that statement until I got older. But to now have my kids, all three of my kids in my company and working with me, it is about the next generation. It is about teaching them the right things so that we can build better homes. And you know, they're not going to burn down. They're not going to blow down. They're not going to fall down, tornadoes. I mean, we can do all this. And I've been for years now pushing and a big advocate for world skills just to teach better. Stop teaching minimum code, start teaching theories. And through television, I think I've been able to do this as well as teach homeowners what they need to know. So when it comes to home free, it's no different. I get the opportunity to teach them and hopefully give them an opportunity for a career change after the competition. As a matter of fact, three of them are going into the trades now. One of them just got a job. So this makes me feel good. And bringing in my kids and helping them out because both Mike and Sherry came in, I think it was the 6th episode, to teach them before they had to do a work order that I gave them. And they loved them. My kids loved it. And again, it's just nothing but the right thing.
You talk about some instances in the industry. Where has the problem started? Is it people trying to cut costs that leads to a shoddy job? Is it trying to do it fast? What is it? Where do people go wrong?
Well, there's many factors. One, it's mainly, you know, the people that are hiring contractors, whether to build a new home or renovate the home. First thing is, you don't know enough. You know, everyone's got the dream right now. I want that beautiful kitchen. I want that beautiful bathroom. I want that new home that we've worked so hard all our lives to save up for. And you think about it, your home is the single most expensive investment of your life. So if they don't know the right moves, and they think that as soon as one person walks through the door that they should hire them because they feel they know what they're talking about, there lies the problem right there. One, we need to trust their instincts. Two, you need to do your homework. You need to learn as much as you can before you move into any aspect of the building industry, whether it's renovating or even trying to build a new home. and have it done by a professional. That's the point. Are they professional? Did they check them out? Did they get a list of references? And in my world, if you don't do your job, odds are you're going to be in trouble.
So, I'm a homeowner, and I know very little about construction, demolition, renovation, any of those types of things. So if you were to give people, 3 tips of advice, aside from a reputable contractor or person to do the job, for me, I think it would be about cost. I would look at the budget first. How much am I working with, and what can I do from there? But what would be your 3 tips for somebody?
It's funny how people look at just the cost first that you said that. But here's the first 3 tips that I'm going to give you. 1, slow down. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry to do anything to your home or a brand new home. I don't care what it is. Slow down. Number 2, educate yourself. You need to know as much as you can. Not that you're going to do the work, but to find out what your contractor should be doing, what materials they should be using. It's not about upgrading your kitchen cabinets and flooring or countertops. It's about what products should you be using. What is CertainTeed air renew drywall, and why should we be using it? That's one example. Number 3, check out your contract. And you can't do this enough. I hope they come in the door with a list of references as to who they are, jobs they've done, people you can contact. And you got to get up off your butt, pick up that phone, call every single one of them, and go see the work you're about to get done to your home. The more work you do, the better.
You know what I look forward to doing is just demolishing the place on the inside. So a sledgehammer looks fun. What's your favorite way to just rip apart a place?
You know what, a sledgehammer is a lot of fun, and I think it's a way to get out a lot of stress in your body, but to each job is different. Depending on what you're doing, it doesn't mean a sledgehammer takes everything down. Again, you got to be careful. I think a lot of people can go ahead and do it themselves, but a rule of thumb is anything built before 1980 has the potential to have asbestos in the plaster, asbestos in the attic, asbestos on the adhesive and vinyl tiles on your floor. So the more you, again, learn to know about what you're doing, the better, because the last thing you want to do is gut a home that has asbestos in the plaster, because you will be breathing it in.
Now, looping this back around to Home Free, I mean, it makes me want to go on the show just so I can learn all of this. This is free knowledge for somebody coming on the show, isn't it?
Well, you know what? It covers every aspect you can imagine. Not only do you get to learn, what we're doing in the building industry. We are building an entire neighborhood, so you get that aspect of it, what you can do to your home. Again, design, because each and every home is different, so the look gives you the opportunity to say, hey, I'd love that in my home. And to do it right is everything. Now, on top of that, to see every single emotion, human body within the show itself, from the 11 contestants to their heroes, to the end when they think they've lost it all and the hero actually wins a home. It is probably the one show that is so real that you just can't imagine it until you watch it.
We're going to cry, aren't we? You're going to make us cry.
Everybody's going to cry because it's just at the end. Imagine going through the whole week of frustration, working, tired, the competition, and at the end of the week when we tell the hero that I'm sorry, we have bad news, your person who has been working so hard for you has been cut from the competition and did not win the grand prize, and then quickly come back with, but this is Home Free, and on Home Free, every hero is a winner, and that's when the shock comes out that they can't believe they won a new home.
Oh, and that's why we love it. I gotta ask, last season, I know your name was in the title of every episode. That's the true sign that you're the star of the show. You know that, right?
Oh, well, I'm just a contractor.
All right, well, we're going to be watching Home Free. It's back on Fox on Thursdays, right?
It is. Thursday at 9 p.m., I believe.
All right, Mike Holmes, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. You keep making it right.
Cheapskate Checkpoint on the Scribble, brought to you by cheapskatebook.com. If you're a stupid spender, become a genius saver at cheapskatebook.com. Here's best-selling tight-ass Jeremy Bradley.
You freak.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Back here on the Scribble, Jeremy Bradley at the controls. Thank you again so much for listening to this podcast week after week, every Friday at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes, as you just heard. We're also on Twitter at The Scribble Show, at The Scribble Show. This is episode 70 already. When you think about it, some TV shows are on for 6 weeks and then canceled. Sometimes even canceled after 2 or 3 weeks. We have made it 70 weeks here on this podcast, and we couldn't do it without you. Would love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to send me an email. live@jbonair.com is my email address. live@jbonair.com. My name is Jeremy Bradley. I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat